Hello everyone, and welcome back for another video here on the channel. Thank you so much for joining me if you are one of my returning subscribers, and if this happens to be your first time stopping by, welcome to the channel. My name is Monet. I am 27 years old, and here on the channel I am a cash envelope stuffer, budgeter, girl that is trying to get her finances together. I have been documenting my journey here on YouTube for the past 4 years, and it's helped me get out of debt, and now I am still using the system to help me save. So if you're into budgeting or wanting to become better with finances, or you're just interested in following my journey and you enjoy watching that, then please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and join the family. I would absolutely love to have you, and make sure you hit the bell to be notified for each time I upload my next video. So within today's video, you guys, we are officially in November. Ooh, I am so excited. I love November. Biased because it is my birthday month, but November just kicks off the holiday season for myself, so that's why I got my hot chocolate, as you guys saw me make. As soon as November hits, hot chocolate every day until January. I love it. But yes, we are officially in November, and with the month ending and a new month starting, of course that means we have to do our monthly reset, and we're going to figure out how we closed out for October and then begin setting up for November. So if you're interested in seeing how I'm going to budget for that, then of course just keep on watching. All right, everyone, so here we are back with our budget template for the month of October. We're going to go ahead and fill in the actuals and close out for the month. Just a reminder, this is a budget template that I did create myself. So if you are interested in this and you find that this is something that may benefit you, I do have the link for that down in the description box below. It can be found on my website and my Etsy. Just look for the budget template. I really appreciate all the people that have been buying, supporting, and saying that the template is good and working for them. I was very nervous, as I said, when I put this out, so I'm very happy to hear positive results. But getting started with October, let's fill in these numbers. So we are going to filter on actual, and starting with our income, we budgeted $4,352, and that is what we were able to bring in. I am salary, so normally the number I have is what I receive. And just to preference, again, this is after taxes, healthcare, and tithe. This is the income that I am left to budget with for the month. So let's go ahead and get started with these bills. First, we have rent, of course, and rent did not change. The $1,680, that is what came. And for utilities, I budgeted $65, and happy to report came in under that. We actually had to pay $58, so that was great. As for internet, that is a fixed expense, so the $56 is what we paid. And then for electricity, another one we were under, which is great to see. We budgeted $80, but actually only had to pay $71. I do not think that is going to be the case in November because it has been chilly, and I got a portable heater and I've been running it. So I know I'm going to be paying for the price. But as I said, I just cannot be cold, y'all. So once it gets below 60, I can't. But as for my bills, we will come back and fill in this rollover. I normally put whatever dollars I have left. I put that into rollover, and that's kind of like my buffer in my checking account. It just keeps growing and growing. So we can move along now to expenses. And first up for expenses, we have gas. Gas, I did budget $90, and I gave myself $90. As for spending, I budgeted $245. I actually only cashed stuff $185 for the month, and that is because of the Miami trip that we all know I was not able to go on for my best friend's birthday, so I increased my spending for that. But since we didn't go, there was no need, so got a little bit more money. As for groceries, I did give myself $305, so a little bit higher for that, but not too much. Toiletries was $100, and I did stick to the $100. Same for clothing, that was $60. And then for eating out, I budgeted $80, but I gave myself $90 just because I had a little inkling of just eating out more. But as for expenses, that is everything for that. So we can move on over for savings, and this will be my sinking funds and my other savings goals that I have. So for annual payments, I budgeted $60. That is what I gave, $60. Car maintenance was $40, and that's what it got. Car insurance $80, Christmas $40, gifts I gave $30, household $30, medical did not get anything, and travel did get the $300. So all of my sinking funds, I did exactly what I wanted. And then for the home fund, that also got the $575. So in terms of savings, that's great. We were able to stick to everything for the budget. And then the last thing we can get into over here is investments for my Roth IRA. And I am happy to report I budgeted $440, but I actually gave myself $500. And that was because of basically the extra money that I didn't have to spend for Miami. I put that into my Roth IRA. I'm trying to really beef that up to try and wrap that up maybe by like February of 2025. So whatever I can give extra, I try and throw at the Roth. And over here, we do have a debt column, but thankfully for myself, I am debt free. So I do not have anything to put over there. So if we come back and look at the dollars we have left, we have $2, and I'm going to go ahead and dump that into my rollover. So there we go, getting myself now to a zero-based budget. All right, so now that we have everything inputted, let's go ahead and analyze and see how we did for the month. So I'd first like to come over here and look at our income summary. So in terms of difference between budget and actual, the only changes that we had was for bills and expenses. We were able to come in under for those, so that's a positive negative number. And then, as I said, the difference that I had for that, I dumped that into my investments. So that was plus 60 than what I budgeted. And then everything else was zero. So that is good. And then we can go ahead and look at our pie charts to get a perspective in terms of percentages where our money went. So looking at the budgeted income breakdown versus the actual for bills, we came in at 43%. So really close to the 43.2 that we budgeted. Expenses were 19%. So again, very close to the 20% that we budgeted. Savings was 26.5, and that is exactly the same, no difference there. And then the biggest change is our investments. We were able to give 11.5 versus the 10% that we budgeted. So overall looking good there. And then looking at our savings breakdown pie chart, I always want to see at least 50%. I would like to go to home fund. So we're close, we're on track with that. So 49.8% went to home fund. The rest went to my sinking funds, with the good bulk of it going to travel, as we all know. So yes, the next thing that we can look at is exactly what I spent my money on for the month. So this is me tracking my variable expenses. This gives me a good idea of what I spend my money on and how much. So I really enjoy watching this. So the categories that I track would be gas, spending, groceries, toiletries, clothing, and eating out. Those are normally the categories that would blow my budget if I'm not monitoring my spending on that. So that is why I find it best to track it. And across all those categories for the month, I spent $977, which I don't think is too bad, but let's go ahead and take a little bit of a deeper dive at them. So starting off with gas we see I used that 4 times within the month. I just click the check mark and it highlights basically all those categories. So that was a total of $77 spent out of that category, and gas equated for almost 8% of my spending. So that's normally what I average, about $80 a month for gas. I have a small compact car. It's a Chevy Sonic, so she is fabulous on gas. That is a blessing. All right, so next thing that we can get into is spending. Spending amounted for about 17% of my spending, and in total that was $170 that I spent there. Spending is basically like miscellaneous or anything that I can't actually put in a category, or if a category is running low, I would just take it out of spending. So spending can vary, but for this month, we see I went to Walmart. I got some things. Oh, I know I went to Amazon. Yeah, so I went to Amazon. I bought 2 books. I've been reading the Hoop series by Kennedy Ryan, I believe is her name. Pretty good. I'm on the 2nd book, so I will have to finish it, because I'm one of those people that even if the book is bad, once I start the trilogy, I'm gonna finish it. So that's that. Then I got some work lunch. And then the bulk of it is here. We see that I bought from Amazon. I got some birthday stuff for my cruise. So basically it's like little pins that I'm gonna wear on my birthday. On the door, a lot of people decorate their doors to their staterooms on cruises. So I got little magnets that we're gonna put on the door for my birthday. Just little things like that. So that is really where most of that went. So again, I don't think that's too bad with only 17% spent there. Groceries was the big one this month. So that was really 40% of my spending went to groceries, which is good. And that helped me not eat out as much. So $388 went to that. And groceries, I always go to like Walmart, Kroger. Those are like my main stores. So nothing really to report there. Toiletries is next, and that was 20%. So that was the next biggest one. And that makes sense. I spent a total of $200 for the month. And I know I had to get paper towels and laundry detergent, fabric softener, all that stuff. So that really did add up. So not surprised there. As for clothing, I believe I only used, I used this twice. I thought it was only once, but I did go to DSW and get my shoes for my birthday because you guys said in the video when I was talking about it, it was good for me to buy it. It's my birthday. I've been doing well, so you are right. So I went ahead and got me some shoes, and then I also went to Target and got me some flip-flops for the cruise. So $61 in total came out of clothing for the month. And then eating out, total of $81 for the month. I've had better months, but yeah, that was just spent at various things. I went to Domino's, KFC, Olive Garden, random eating out places. But overall, not too bad. And I don't think I said it, but eating out was 8.3% and clothing was 6.2%. So those were the smaller guys out of the pie. And then I also like to look at what is left to spend, because this basically lets me know how much money I have entering November until I get my next paycheck. So I know I'm pretty low on a lot of these, but I am getting my paycheck in the first week of November. So I know another one is coming and I can manage for at least one more week until that happens. But for gas for the month, I have a remaining of $36 left to spend until my next paycheck. Clothing with $90. Groceries, $86. Toiletries, I have nothing. Clothing at $19 and eating out with $31. But yeah, all in all, that is how I spent for October, and we will put a wrap on that. So now we can get into the fun part and budget for November. All right, here we are for November. It is a lot going on this month. I already went ahead and put in all of the categories that we are going to be working with. And November is a magic month, you guys. So very thankful. I feel like it aligned perfectly for this month to be a magic month. If you aren't familiar, a magic month will happen for people that are paid bi-weekly. And it's a month where you get paid 3 times rather than just the regular 2. So if you play your cards right, look at your bills, look at your calendar, it's basically not an entire extra paycheck, but it's extra money. And if you budget correctly, it's a good amount of money that you have extra. So looking at November, I will be getting my first paycheck November 1st. And then I'm getting another paycheck November 15th, which is my actual birthday. So that's amazing. Getting a paycheck on your birthday, so nice. And then I'm going to get another paycheck for November 29th. Very hectic, and November is Thanksgiving. So it's a lot going on. It's going to be a very busy month for myself. So let's go ahead and budget it to make sure we're setting ourselves up for success. Getting started with full-time income. For 3 paychecks, I will be receiving $6,528 for the month. Love it. I wish that can be every month, but one day we will get there. So let's go ahead and first budget these bills. So rent, of course, is going to be the same at $1,680. Utilities, I'm gonna budget $65 again. Honestly, it might be a little bit higher because we did just come in at $58. but I'm gonna be optimistic and I'm gonna put $65. Internet, we know that's a fixed expense. That's going to be $56. And then electricity, this is another one that might be higher, but I'm going to go ahead and say $100, given that we only spent $70 last month. But again, those numbers can come in at any way. All right, so that is all we have for bills. We will come back for rollover. And next we move on to expenses. So for myself, when it comes to expenses and a magic month, I account for them 3 times rather than the standard 2. So for example, gas, with each paycheck, I would give myself maybe about $40 each time I get paid. So in a regular month, it will be $80, but I'm going to give myself $105 for gas. And I went down a little bit because for 1 week I'm not going to be here because I will be on my cruise, and then the other half of a week I'll be with family and Thanksgiving. So 105 should be a good amount for myself for gas. And now we get into spending. So the spending for this month, I already feel like it's going to be a lot, so I'm just going to set myself up with higher numbers than what I normally do, just to cover all of my bases. I'm going to be at the airport a lot, and I always get a snack at the airport, so I already know spending money is going to come out of that. I'll be with my cousin in Miami before we go on the cruise, so just trying to cover myself best I can. So with that in mind, I'm going to give myself $400 for spending, and then I'm also going to give myself $400 for groceries. That should be good for myself. I do have quite a bit. Up next we have toiletries, and this hurts my soul to put this much in toiletries because I'm just not a girl that likes to spend that much money on herself. But toiletries, I'm gonna give myself $550 for the month, and majority of that is because I am getting my hair done for my birthday. I'm going to be getting braids in my hair professionally done, and I have not been to a braided salon in 10 years, honestly. So I'm paying for that. And then of course I'm gonna get my eyebrows done, I'm gonna get my nails done, I'm gonna get my feet done, I gotta get makeup. So I already know toiletries is gonna be a thing, so just covering what I need to there. Clothing, I'm giving myself $80. I honestly have everything I need, so I don't anticipate spending too much on clothing. And then for eating out, that's gonna be $120. That I kept standard. I normally give myself $40 each time I get paid, so I just kept that same mentality. So in terms of expenses, that is what we are going to be working with. Now we can go ahead and get into savings. And with this paycheck, or with this being a magic month, I really wanted to capitalize on my home fund and my Roth IRA. So we will see that a good chunk of that money is going there. As for my regular sinking funds, those are honestly the same every month. So I have $60 for annual payments, $40 for car maintenance, $80 for car insurance, $40 for Christmas, $20 for gifts. Household will be getting $30, medical with nothing, and then travel with $300. And for my home fund, I'm shooting towards a savings goal of $1,450. We all know that I'm trying to get to $10,000 by the end of this year. So if I'm able to set myself up right in November, December won't be too much work that I gotta do, and I can definitely hit my goal. And then over here we have my Roth IRA, and I'm going to budget $950 to give towards that account. So overall, that is the plan I had in mind. Looking at what is left over, we have $2, so I'm gonna dump that right into rollover. And for November, I think we are gonna be good. All right, so looking at our income summary, let's see how we have things tracking. For income, we have the $6,528. The bills is rolling to a total of $1,903. Expenses at $1,655. Savings with $2,020, and investments at $950. So we are now sitting with a leftover of $0, which is great, giving us a zero-based budget. In terms of the pie chart, right now bills are sitting with a percent of 29. Expenses is rolling to about 25%. Savings almost 31%, so that's nice to see. And then investments closer to 15%. So overall, in terms of percentages, I'm happy about where my money is going. That looks promising for myself. I am just hoping that we can stick to it. The last thing that I like to do is put in the numbers that I have for my rollover, so that once I begin tracking my spending on this, the numbers for left to spend are accurate. So for October, we said I had $36 in gas, $90 for spending, $86 in groceries, $0 was in toiletries, $19 for clothing, and $31 for eating out. That is entered, and as for our template, everything is put in. We are ready to go. So I think we have a great plan for November. All right, you guys, so as always, thank you so much for watching. If you are going through a magic month, let me know down below where you are putting your extra funds or how you are going to budget with that. If you have any suggestions, any questions, as always, leave those comments down below and I will make sure to respond to you. And be sure to give the video a thumbs up and share, because that really does help and support the channel. So I always appreciate that. But as for today, you guys, that's all I have. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all next time in my next video. Bye, guys.